Meet me. Welcome back, boys, to another episode of Should You Pull? And today we're actually going to even mention a hero not on the banner because we all know it's coming. So today we're going to talk about Seaside Belluna, Says, we're going to talk about HYufine, and then we're going to really quickly talk about the Galaxy Coin Shop just in case that applies to you. To most of you, it probably won't, but that's fine. So, first off, let's start off with the big one. Seaside Bellona, should you pull? Yes, 100%. There is no question about it. You should pull. She's quite possibly the best Wyvern hero in the game. She demolishes 90% of the PvE content in the game. In PvP, she's a juggernaut and is the sole reason why so many arena defenses have Rowana on it, simply to make this not viable. But just that fact makes it clear just how powerful this hero is. In RTA, she is still very strong. She's not drafted as much as she used to be because, if you pick her early, you are going to run into Rowana and it's a must ban, but still a very common 4, 5, or 5 pick. And she's kind of a giant threat if she gets through, right? Depending on what your draft was. So, an absolute juggernaut in PvE, absolute juggernaut in PvP, no questions, you absolutely need to get her. Reingar Special Drink. Is this a must you pull? Yeah. It's the best artifact for SSB, bar none. And it enables builds that are otherwise impossible, like the tank SSB. You completely ignore crit damage, crit chance, and just stack attack and make her super tanky. And even that build works, but it doesn't work if you don't have Reingars. Now, if you're F2P or something, you don't have resource, should you go extra pulls to get this? Probably not. If you're not trying to make her like super versatile in PvP, you could get away with using something like Rosa Hargana, which is something I did for a long time because I could not get this damn artifact. But again, you don't even have to pull for it. Just use the powder to get it. Hopefully you have some powder saved up, but it's absolutely a very powerful artifact, something that you should really try your best to plus 30 if you can, but again, it's not mandatory. But, when anything that goes up to 100% chance, you almost always want it to be 100% chance. And at plus 30, it is a 100% chance to inflict additional damage. So SSB, both herself and her artifact, total home runs. You can't go wrong. Get it, get it, get it. I'm not a channel that hypes things unless they're actually good. This is actually super good for everybody. So if you don't have it, I mean, a lot of top players even build two of them, one for Wyvern, one for PvP. That tells you, like, I would say this is one of two heroes where it's actually quite common to do that. SSB and Arbiter Vildred are two heroes where a lot of people will plus 15 two of them. That shows you just how powerful they are. So I think that's enough about SSB. Everyone knew she was good. Everyone was going to get her anyway. Let's talk about Says. Is he a must pull? No, he's garbage. Just don't even bother. Don't summon for him. There's absolutely no reason to pull for this. No one uses him for anything. Well, anyone good anyway. Like, I have not seen him in 1,000 plus RTA matches this season because he's just straight up bad. Like, back in the old days, he was actually quite legendary because he had his classic S3 Says bomb that would one-shot the whole team. And you could actually kind of still do that now, even without Wind Rider, but it's just not worth it. There's better cleave heroes. In RTA, he's pretty much completely useless. Don't bother. As for his artifact, I mean, look at it. It's fine. There might be a very specific case where you want to use this, but basically it's like extra crit chance and an oath key put together. There's going to be very limited cases where you're going to want to use this instead of the other broken thief artifacts out there like RNL or Alexa's Basket. So again, this banner is just a no-brainer skip. Don't even think about it. Just skip it. Don't summon for it. Now for the next one, we need to talk about HYufine. HYufine, should you pull? This is a tough one. If you don't care about RTA, it's actually an easy no. For PvE, you just don't need her. She doesn't do anything particularly special. For PvP, I mean, it depends. If you're just trying to casually do PvP, it doesn't really matter. If you're trying to do very high-end RTA, it's all about options, right? always having a hero available that counters the opponent's draft. Holiday Fiend is actually a very good addition to that kit, and a lot of top players do incorporate it because if they pick a bunch of squishies plus Bazaar, then Holiday Fiend is actually quite scary, right? Because she neuters Bazaar, she has reach to hit things like S10A, but the problem with her is you need to build her with a little tank, and her damage is actually quite poor. I mean, you could build her to do high damage, but then she dies in one hit. And again, she is getting buffed, but the buff is quite minimal. Basically, she'll have a permanent 20% evasion. It's not going to be enough to save her, though. So I think the buffs really don't matter for her all that much. The soul burn gets decently better because you could cycle more, but again, I want to say when I use HYufine, she rarely S3s twice anyway. So it doesn't really matter all that much, and you're going to have to bring something with souls for it to even matter. Otherwise, you're definitely not going to use her S3 three times. So HYufine, she's a maybe. For PvE players, no. For serious PvP players who have a lot of extra resources, sure. But you got to keep in mind that there's, well, I mean, you keep saying it's supposedly another collab coming, so it might not be worth it to blow all your bookmarks on this if you don't care about PvP or, for that matter, high tier PvP. At the mid tiers, you're almost never going to see this drafted. In like super high champ legend, you're going to see it pop up occasionally if you pick a bunch of heroes that gets countered by this. But in general, you could probably skip it. Let's talk about her artifact while we're at it, because I mean, it's going to be on her banner anyway, right? So the easy answer to her artifact is you could just skip it. I mean, literally no hero can use this except Holiday HYufine. On Holiday HYufine, it's pretty decent. I run it on my Holiday HYufine, but a lot of people actually run their HYufines on something else like Junkyard Dog or even Sigurd Scythe. So it's not necessary at all. I use it because it's kind of funny. People actually get surprised that I run it because my HYufine will just randomly stun a critical person on their team and they're like, you actually run this thing? So on HYufine, it's okay. On everyone else, it's I can't actually even think of a single warrior that can use it. Maybe there's one, but in general, I don't think there's many warriors of AoE S1, so it's not really going to be very helpful. It's basically a warrior Abyssal Crown, right? But only essentially one hero can use it. So again, this thing, you can probably skip as well. So HYufine and her artifact, probable skips for 90% of you, unless you have a lot of extra resources. She just got buffed, so she's unlikely to be buffed again in the near future. So, yeah, that's my thought on HYufine. Let's go to the coin shop real quick, because a few players have asked me to mention that. I know it doesn't apply because most people won't have these coins, even I don't have enough to get anything. Fceci, no-brainer. If you don't have her, get her. I don't think we have to talk about this here. You guys have probably lost to her. You guys know. So if you don't have Fallen Cecilia, I don't think you could really go wrong by, like, people are always worried about wasting their precious coins. I don't think Fallen Cecilia could ever be considered a waste. As meta as they come, she's been meta forever. She will continue to be meta most likely. Get it. Apoc Ravi, she's rarely seen. Again, she's kind of like, so almost like HYufine in a way. In certain drafts, she's very good. Like if they pick a low damage draft, then you could pick Apoc Ravi because they'll never be able to kill her. And eventually with Battle Frenzy, she'll solo your team and make it impossible to kill anything because she'll randomly revive a Soul Reaver or something. So I have seen top players use her if I draft a strangely low DPS team, which is not common in the RTA meta nowadays. But who knows? She was strong back then. Might be strong in the future, but I don't think she's worth coins. I think even if I had 40 coins and I don't have Apoc Ravi, I probably wouldn't use them on her. So anyways, that's today's episode of Should You Pull. We covered SSB, Says, the coin shop, and HYufine. Hopefully that helps you out in the coming weeks. Make sure you join channel Nuts, throwing a meep in there to boost up your luck. It's scientifically proven by many universities, I swear. And best of luck to you guys. Till next time, peace out.